A girl would call me a fatty yesterday, and she was trying to be cute and flirt with me, and so it was water off my back. But actually, 2, 3 years ago, if a girl called me a fatty, it would have actually bothered me. It would have felt more like an insult, which is crazy. Because the girl yesterday, she knows I've got a shredded physique. Clearly, she's interested in me and she's making a harmless joke, but only because of the evidence I've accumulated. Only through my discipline or my training and nutrition did I make sure that statement of fatty was factually incorrect. In a previous life, 2, 3 years ago, like I said, it would have bothered me. So then I asked myself the question, how many statements that I'm not happy with can I invalidate? So if someone was to call you stupid, does that bother you? And if it does bother you, ask yourself why. Because maybe deep down you're stupid. Maybe deep down you're not doing anything to further your knowledge, to further your study and become a more holistic man, a student of knowledge. Maybe you are stupid, right? Because when she called me a fatty, it was only a joke because there is no arguing back. It's funny. There is no gut. There is no BMI or body fat percentage that aligns with that statement of her calling me a fatty, which means I'm undeniable. I can deny this statement. You call me a fatty? No, I deny that. That's not in my reality. That doesn't align with the life I live because I'm not a fatty and I'm not dumb because I study and I'm smart, right? So ask yourself, on this quest to become undeniable, you need to find as many statements as possible that bother you, because the statements that bother you have a reality of truth behind them. So if someone's called you a name and it irks your soul a little bit, before you bite at this person, before you attack this person, look internally and ask yourself, why does this bother me? Is there an element of truth behind the statement they gave? And number two, is there something I can do about it? And it's a trick question to number two, because there's always something you can do. You need to understand, boys, that proof is the loudest flex. So to the people who hurl these insults at you, they probably won't break out of their programming. If they're the sort of person that calls you fatty, not like the girl who was trying to flirt with me, but the classroom bully who calls you fatty, the classroom bully who calls you stupid, these sort of people very rarely change their ways. They're going to find the next kid to pick on. The only way you can make sure you're not the one getting picked on is via proof, by building a stack of undeniable proof to show you are who you say you are. And this is from Alex Hormozy. There is no point looking in the mirror shouting affirmations. I can't look in the mirror and say I'm not fat if I've got a huge gut. It does nothing for me, right? The only way I can deny this statement of I am fat is I build enough proof to show otherwise. And I do that by building a stack of undeniable evidence, going to the gym day in, day out. And that's the beauty of discipline, is that via discipline, you can turn these jokes into dust. They no longer apply to me and you, brother. So study so hard, train so hard, work so hard that someone calling you stupid, someone calling you fat is scientifically incorrect. It's not a factually valid statement. And that's the beauty of becoming a man who's undeniable. Think about when you was a kid and you were hungry, so you went upstairs to the kitchen and you thought, maybe I'll make myself some eggs. Now, if you're a kid who's not contributing to the bills, you're continuously in your room, playing games, wasting time, when you go to get egg number 4 and your mum says, hey, 3's enough, and you ask her, why? I want an extra egg. I want to have 5 eggs. I want to have 6 eggs. And she goes, no, you don't deserve it. Can you deny that statement? Do you contribute enough to the house where you can turn around to your mum and say, hold up, mama, I paid my rent this month and I did my work this month? Because the truth is, if you paid your rent for that month and you did your work that month and you showed via evidence that you were competent, then you'd have enough confidence to say to your mother, actually, I will take that 4th egg. I'll argue, if you show enough concrete proof that you are who you say you are, your mum wouldn't even stop you. Why would she? Because you're undeniable. She cannot deny you that 4th, 5th, 6th egg. Now, it might be a small example, but hopefully you guys can apply that scenario and extrapolate it and see just how many facets of your life this applies. It applies in the workplace, it applies with your friends, and it applies in the family home. So when someone insults you, understand there is no point in clapping back with words. So someone hurls an insult at you and maybe your instinctive reaction is to hurl back another insult. The only way, productive way, to clap back is with results, is to show them the work. Now, the issue with showing results instead of hurling another insult back to them is instant, and the other takes a whole bunch of time. And it goes into this idea of instant gratification versus delayed gratification. So when someone insults you or gives a statement that might irk you, you can go for the instant gratification, bite back, have your 2 pence, and then feel like your ego's been saved. Or you can actually sit in that feeling of why did this statement bother me? You can sit in that reality that actually there is some validity to that statement. And you can defer the insult. You hold your tongue. You practice silence and use all of that energy that is now being pent up by not saying the insult back. You use that and you take your fat ass to the gym. You must silence your critics, boys, by making their insults mathematically impossible. I am not fat. I am undeniable. Look at my body and call me fat again, motherfucker, right? And that's when you can really let out that aggression. It's years and years of being told you're stupid. Years and years of being told you're a waste of space. Years and years of being told whatever applies to you. You must use that as activation energy and apply it to something productive.